Hey everyone, I'm Cassandra Bodzak and you're watching Eat with Intention TV, and this is a very Christmas cookie episode. I am so excited. One of my favorite things to do around the holidays is make Christmas cookies. And unfortunately, as I've gotten busier over the years and as my food allergies and different things I can eat have shifted, it has become quite the art to make sure it happens. But I've teamed up with Bob's Red Mill, who happens to make my favorite flours, gluten-free flour. We're going to make our vegan and gluten-free sugar cookies, just a tad healthier. I do really believe that you can still have all of those Christmas cookie flavors that you grew up with by just making some small adjustments. And one of the easiest adjustments you can make if you're gluten-free or you're gluten-sensitive is to just switch out your regular flour for gluten-free flour. And Bob's has so many great ones. This is just a regular all-purpose baking flour, so you could sub it in just one for one. I also use the quinoa flour sometimes, as you guys know, in my cupcake recipes. But for these cookies, I chose that. I'm also going to be using some of their date sugar, because just because these are sugar cookies doesn't mean they have to be like loaded with sugar. Date sugar is actually way more nutrient dense, so whenever possible, I try to sub in some date sugar. What I'm actually going to do in this recipe is I'll sub in some date sugar and some regular sugar, so that you still get that sugar cookie taste, because date sugar definitely has a more grounded, earthy taste than regular sugar. But if you're like me and you rarely eat sugar during the year, then these cookies will be like the perfect balance, because I don't know about you, sometimes when I have just a normal Christmas cookie again, it's so sugary because I'm not used to it. So these are just super delicious. Let's just jump in. Let's just jump in. So first thing, we've got you want to put all of your dry ingredients in a bowl together. So I've already put my Bob's Red Mill gluten-free all-purpose baking flour, about 2 1/4 cups right in here. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt, about 1/4 teaspoon. Shake it in. And then a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. And I got these super cute little measuring cups last year in my stocking. And I've waited this whole time for this episode so I could use them. My little gingerbread guy, 1/2 teaspoon of our baking powder. We'll just put that in there. Perfect. They are super loud and clinkety, so sorry about that. All right, so we have all of this together, and now what you're going to do is put your flaxseed together. So I've already created a little flax eggs, and this is just flax meal, 1 tablespoon of flax meal, 3 tablespoons of water. If you guys watch Eat with Intention, I use this for everything. So that's just we're gonna let that hang on the side. And then I am going to cheat a little bit here and use a food processor instead of an electric mixer or a stand mixer to beat our vegan butter. So this is Earth Balance, soy-free, organic butter, and it's about 3/4 cup. You want it to be kind of melted. It doesn't have to be, super liquidy, but you want it to be nice and melted. It'll just make this process faster. And then we're going to put our sugar in with here. And this is like the main secret to when you're making sugar cookies, is really beating your butter and your sugar well. So I'm going to do 1/2 cup of date sugar. So again, it's going to be less sweet and it's going to be healthier and have more nutrients. And then I am going to use some organic granulated sugar, and I'm going to use about 1/4 cup of this. So 3/4 cup of sugar in general, and then you can decide it out how you want to decide it out. If you're just experimenting, let's say maybe you have little kids or a husband at home, someone that's maybe a little bit more particular, feel free to, flip those portions and do 1/4 of date sugar and 1/2 cup of regular sugar. It's all about having fun and experimenting and seeing what's the right balance for you and your family. So I am going to buzz this up. All right, so another fair warning, if you are using date sugar, you can also swap it out for coconut sugar. Like I said, date sugar is, I think, it is the most nutrient dense sugar. It's actually the only sugar that has any nutrients and minerals in it, because it's made from dates. So it's made from real fruit. But it is a little dark, right? It is because, dates are dark brown. So I give that disclaimer, these will be slightly darker sugar cookies. So now that we've beaten our sugar and our vegan butter together, I'm going to put in our dry mix in here. And again, this is a little cheat, but it works just the same. And in my opinion, it makes life and cleanup so much easier for you. There we go. And truth be told, I've been using my food processor because when I moved to California from New York, my KitchenAid got lost in the mix somewhere, and I'm still waiting to find it. So now I'm just going to, again, pulse this all together. And we're going to add in our flaxseed, which I almost forgot about. All right. What did I do with my... There we are. My spatula. I'm just going to add this in. And you're just going to want to go, if you are going to use this food processor hack, which you don't have to, you could use a mixing bowl as well, and an electric mixer, a hand mixer, and you're just going to want to go along the edges and loosen it up. And because the different vegan butters have different moisture content, just keep an eye on it. Thick, like sugar cookies do have, it has a thicker cookie consistency, but feel free to add a little water into the mix if you feel like it needs a little bit more moisture. All right, now you know it's done when it can't mix anymore because it's stuck in a thick chunk. All right, so I've taken our mix out of the food processor. I have been molding it with my hands in this bowl, and I added a little vanilla extract and almond extract. And as you can see, as I was kind of letting you know, because we use the date sugar, it is a darker batter than a normal cookie dough. So you've been warned. If you don't want to use the date sugar, you don't have to, but it is a little healthier. All right, so next thing. So take out a piece of parchment paper on your counter, and you're going to place the dough on the middle of it. And then we're going to take a second piece of parchment paper and place it over our dough, like so. And then you can use your rolling pin and just flatten it out. And we're going to flatten it out this way, and we're going to let it cool in the fridge so that it's more manageable for us to be able to cookie cut later. I'm just going to move this over this way. So we're going to flatten it out this way. There we go. This double parchment paper trick just makes everything so much cleaner. And then once you completely flatten out your dough, just going to put it on a cookie tray, and we're going to put it in your fridge for 20 minutes and let it set before we cut your cookies. In the meantime, make sure your oven is preset to 350. I've taken my cookie dough out of the fridge. It's lovely parchment. The beautiful part about this is I literally just rip the top layer off and it's all good to go. And now we can use our little Christmas cutouts. I have a few. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm leaning towards this one. I had a snowman and a reindeer and a bell, which is kind of an awkward one, but I really like the smaller ones a little bit better than the bigger ones because then it's like, I don't know, sometimes they just get out of control. So I also bought these Peppermint Crunch from Organic India, or India Tree. I just made that up, Organic India. That's actually a tea company. But it's so tricky whenever you're looking for decorations or food colors or anything like that. You really have to be a little OCD with it because there's a lot of sketchy things out there. So now we're just going to do some cutouts because the date sugar has made our sugar cookie dough dark. I am going to do a little reindeer because that feels appropriate. Let's try this one more time. There we go. And I'm just going to leave them in. Okay. Are you obsessed? How cute is he? I'm obsessed. There we go. Alright, so our little reindeer are out of the oven. They've been cooling for a little bit. And have them. How cute did they come out? I ended up going with reindeer heads because the other reindeers were just a little too complicated. They're adorable. So what I've made in the meantime is a really, really basic icing. So again, I just used Earth Balance, and I used some powdered sugar, a little vanilla, and I made this nice creamy icing because we didn't use a lot of sugar in the actual cookies. So I'm going to be straight up with you guys, they're not sweet. They still have a great little cookie taste, but what we're actually going to do to balance them out and to still make them like cookie-ish is we're going to put this icing on, just on their antlers, and then decorate it with some peppermint crunch. And then this will give it a nice even balance. Like I said, again, feel free to modify the sugar. Less date sugar if you want them more like regular sugar cookies, more date sugar if you want them more healthy, totally up to you. So we have these nice reindeers that have been drying, and I'm just going to put some icing on here. And they're still pretty warm, so it's nice and melty. But that's fine because you're going to let them dry. So we're just going to paint the icing on like such. And then we're going to sprinkle some of our peppermint crunch. There we go. Over them. And you're going to let these cool for another 15-20 minutes before they're ready to be plucked off of the sheet and onto a platter for you to serve. I'll give you a little sneak preview. Can you see that cute little guy we just did? There we go. All right, I've got all of our little peppermint reindeer ready for you to see. Let's see if I can. How cute are they? And now we're just gonna let them dry here and let them crystallize for about 15 minutes or so, and then we can break them off and put on an awesome platter to serve. Thank you guys for tuning in to Eat with Intention TV, and I hope you're having a really happy holiday season. If you're struggling this season and you need some help to restore your sanity, to navigate the holidays in the healthiest, happiest way possible, I'm going to put a link below for my Eat with Intention Happy Healthy Holiday Survival Kit. I designed it just for you because I know the holidays can be the hardest time of the year if you're trying to stick to your healthy habits while still enjoying the blessings of the season. And I wanted to share it with you. So check out that link below. Enjoy these yummy, healthy holiday cookies with Bob's Red Mill Flour. And I hope to see you again here soon. Bye, guys.